program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Welcome to WVTC TV Network, capturing family moments in real time, bringing families closer together from the comforts of home. We are unleashing something different to the world. Start your subscription today for the low price of $4.99 per month or $55 annually. Go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com to sign up today. WVTC TV Network is streaming live on 8 different platforms. You can easily download the WVTC TV Network app on the Apple Store, Play Store, Roku, Fire TV, and more. Here at WVTC TV, we have access to movies that everyone can enjoy, including independent films, Sons of a Preacher and a Good Thing, Treasures of Life, the epic drama, The Passion of the Christ, and the box office hit Madagascar Escape to Africa. Remember, go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com and sign up today. Welcome to WVTC TV Network, capturing family moments in real time, bringing families closer together from the comforts of home. We are unleashing something different to the world. Start your subscription today for the low price of $4.99 per month or $55 annually. Go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com to sign up today. WVTC TV Network is streaming live on 8 different platforms. You can easily download the WVTC TV Network app on the Apple Store, Play Store, Roku, Fire TV, and more. Here at WVTC TV, we have access to movies that everyone can enjoy, including independent films, Sons of a Preacher and a Good Thing, Treasures of Life, the epic drama, The Passion of the Christ, and the box office hit Madagascar Escape to Africa. Remember, go to www.wvtctvnetwork.com and sign up today.
Wonderful. y'all?
Good God morning, people of God. Afternoon. Thank you for choosing the Solutions Radio Show, the new Solutions Radio Show. I'm Corey Wright.
I'm Gigi McKenzie.
And we're glad that you have tuned in. For those that's on Facebook, go over to YouTube. I'm sorry we're having a little technical difficulties, but we should get that squared away shortly.
That's right.
We're thankful that you're here. We got a really great show. As always, we know what the problems are. We know what we need to do to solve them. What we offer on this platform is solutions, dedicated acts of action that bring about true change. I just talked about change and no excuses. For excuses are mad tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere, monuments of nothing. Broadcasting live from the WVTC radio studio, also streaming on the WVTC network, TV network. So thank you guys for coming in. We were super excited. Also, home of the Bears is gonna go 16-0 Super Bowl.
Oh boy!
And just want to let everyone know from Solutions Radio Show, the Mexican Independence Day celebration. We celebrating with you. Miss Gigi, how you doing? How's your week?
Wonderful. I'm wonderful. Absolutely. Everybody had their flags and stuff on the car. So congratulations to those folks. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm doing good.
You know, I am wonderful. God is good. You know, this week I had an experience. My tire blew, and I was on the expressway. I'm like, oh my God, you know, but it could have been worse. But you know, to God be the glory. You know, he had his hand on me and my vehicle. So I am doing well. I cannot complain.
All right.
Not at all.
And it's also a special, you know, you want to give a special shout out to you.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, all I was going to say is this week was I'm remembering my late brother. You know, it's been a number of years, but his birthday was on the 13th. So shout out to Everett James Gibson in heaven. You know, rest easy, bro. I love you.
All right. Well, you know, I am excited always that you are here, that we are here. I take not for granted. We definitely want to tune in. Next week's show, we'll talk about it again, but we're talking about appropriate wear for church.
Oh boy.
You know, should a woman with curves dress according to her curves? You know, should men wear skinny pants and tight pants and stuff like that? just to church.
Okay.
Can people be distracted from service because of what somebody is wearing?
Oh boy.
That will be discussed next week. And when I tell you, it is a powerful show. It is going to be good.
It's going to be interesting. I tell you that.
Very, very, very interesting. Well, today we're talking about emotional affairs. We're talking about getting involved with somebody emotionally.
Right.
We're talking about the dynamics of it. A lot of emotional affairs are not maliciously obtained.
No, absolutely
you know,
not.
That you can fall in love with anybody at any given time for any given reason.
Right.
And we're going to talk about that today.
All right.
Miss Gigi, what do you think about when you think about emotional affairs?
Well, you have to define it first. You going to define it? You want me to define it?
Well, I can define it.
Go ahead. Define an emotional
The
affair.
definition of emotional affairs. An emotional affair is a deep emotional connection between two people who are not in a romantic relationship. It can be damaging to marriage, and it can be very dangerous.
Or it's not physical. You know, that's another way to describe it. It says two people that are not physical, but it's more intimate as a friendship. You know, I don't know. This topic is deep to me because I always felt when someone finds a wife, they find a good thing. When they find their wife, a lot of people say, oh, my wife or my husband, my spouse is my everything. So why do you need someone else? Right? So you have to look at it that way. I feel like sometimes it's like if my husband is taking another young lady out to dinner or taking another young lady to the movies or whatever, why am I here? What am I doing? Hey, what am I doing here? So you have to look at it like, you know, that don't make sense to me. So,
Okay,
but
I
if you're
agree
at,
with that.
but if you're at, if you're at work, I know a lot of people tease and say, "Oh, this is my work husband," or "This is my work wife," and we work so closely together, and this and that. Though sometimes those folks at work are closer to you than your family, because you spend more time with them. Essentially, you spend 8 to 10 hours with somebody at work. When you get home with your spouse, 9 times out of 10, your spouse is coming in. You greet, you have a meal, and then you go to sleep. Really? So you're spending maybe 2.5, 3 hours with your spouse, but 8 to 10 hours with your uh, co-worker, if you will. So
Okay.
sometimes there could be room for those types of relationships to creep in, if you would.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing that I think about and I look at when I think about that is a lot of times we settle in our relationship choosing.
Okay.
And in settling in our relationship choosing, we pick somebody that is not big enough to hold our emotional, our mental abilities, our love, our anointing. What we do is we pick somebody that is a good person.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, that may be a good person, but they don't have everything we want, but they have enough of what we need. I'm gonna say that again. Woo! They have everything we want, but they don't have everything we need. So what happens is, even though we have a successful life on the outside because we have provisions, we
Mhm.
don't have the things that touch us mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so what happens is we find somebody with that has what we don't have.
So you feel like that happens because of a deficit at
Yes.
home.
Yes.
So you don't believe that someone can be in a full-on healthy relationship with someone, love their spouse to death, but still have an emotional relationship with somebody else.
It could happen, and
Okay.
it does happen.
Mhm.
The problem is that we pick a lot on what we want or who we want opposed to what we need. So necessity takes a back seat to actual want. So because when we think about an emotional affair, it is not something
Mhm.
that we just happens. It's a deep emotional connection between two people.
Mhm.
There are people who can have a deep emotional connection, whereas it meant to happen, but they just jail. They just have it.
Mhm.
It's just something about this person that that this person's amazing. Now, let's just be real.
Mhm.
There are extraordinary people who are beautiful inside and out,
Mhm.
intelligent. They radiate a room. They just, full of revelation. And you just can't help but saying, wow, this is a once in a lifetime person.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you just fall deep into it.
Okay.
And sometimes things like that happen. Now, to me, I think, and
Mhm.
we're going to get a little bit deep, and let me turn my little red lights on. When it get deep, woo, my red light, it get deep.
Oh my gosh.
I think emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating. I
Mhm.
think because if it's just about the physical, it's just about pleasure, it's just about a feel. But an emotional cheating
Mhm.
takes time
Mhm.
because I don't believe anybody just cheat. I don't believe that people just wake up one day and say, I want to cheat.
No, I don't believe that.
I believe that it is a deficit, but at the same time, they can be what they can't be with the person they with.
Well, unless you are a full-on cheater anyway, somebody that's just who they are. They don't care who they with, how great they are. That's their personality. They're going to cheat. So unless you're that person, no, I totally agree with you. I believe that no one is out to hurt whom they're with. If someone is in a committed relationship, or if they're married, engaged, betrothed, whatever, and they say, "Hey, I want to be with you and you alone. We're monogamous and all of this extra stuff," to go out to purposely hurt them by being with somebody else. I don't think that's anybody's intent. So I totally agree with you with that. But here's the thing. When a deficit does come, it shouldn't just you're just not going to jump in front of the person and be like, hey, I want you, to somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like it has to be a level of things that lead you there. So let's go through like what is leading you to that space.
I got things that does, but let me just first say this. When we think about emotional affairs, a relationship that is emotionally intimate and close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the reason why I want to make that point is because I have been on both sides of the coin. I've had somebody who fell in love with me, and because I didn't feel that way about them, they turned into a whole nother person.
Okay.
They, doing stuff that they would not do.
Okay.
Dirty stuff that they would not do.
My name is Bennett.
And it's because they feel rejected because of the love,
right?
But because of who I was and being nice to this person,
right?
They fell in love, which I understand, because when you got somebody that's doing stuff that people normally do, showing you love, it is hard not to feel for a person. Right. It is hard not to fall in love. But I've also been in a place whereas, and I should have seen it, even though everyone else seen it. I'm just like, what I'm doing for this person is what I do because this is who I am.
Right.
But I should have seen it. And, unfortunately, and Miss Gigi, I turn on a red light for this one.
I'm good.
He probably ain't going to agree with me on it. But women are very good at getting what they need from a person without taking the person. Where they'll say, hold on, I you know what? I just want to be a friend with you. I don't want to be in anything with you. I don't be in a relationship, but I want you to do every privilege that somebody does in a relationship with you. I want you to be there for me financially. I want you to be there for me mentally. I want you to help me out. I want you to be there. I want you to be my rock. I want you to help me get on my feelings. I want you to take me out. I want you to treat me like a great person. So when that person start catching feelings, they can go into a self-righteous place and say, you know what? All I said was we're going to be friends. Okay, I want to be friends with you, even though I'm taking all the relationship benefits. And one of the greatest things that I learned through therapy, and I learned in life that God just had to put in my face, is that too many people take what they want from you without taking what they need from you. I had a person, I'm going to tell you a really good example.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a 4.5-year relationship with a woman where we went back and forth. We did all this stuff. It was so emotionally driven. Now, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 4.5 years, guess how much time I spent with her face to face? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's all I spent with her was 20 minutes.
What was it, an online relationship?
It was over the phone relationship. Like, I don't want nothing from you but the emotional part of the relationship. I don't want to. We have never sat down and ate. We went to high school together. We have never sat down and ate. And because I want you to think about it. Person take all this time just to call you and tell you they don't like you.
Wait a minute. So I'm totally confused. So you consider that a relationship, like this was your girlfriend?
We went back and forth. We went back and forth because that's all this person wanted a relationship. Now, there was somebody that called me recently. I ain't gonna say no names, but nobody out there who said to me, I didn't realize what I had in you, and I'm just like, well, why do you recognize that now? Because when I helped you get on your feet and I blessed you, not saying that I need any accolades or I'm doing it for self-grandizement, and I showed you love, you chose somebody else, and since that person that ran over your face, now you miss our friendship, now you miss what it do, and now you want that relationship. So I feel like women do that good. Now men do the same thing. I'm not gonna just women, but women are good at that, saying, I just want to be your friend. Let me keep you at arm's length. Let me take what I need from you, but then turn around. And then when you start catching feelings, you know what? That ain't my problem. I told you we're going to be friends. You should have felt that way, but you're taking everything from that person. You're being intimate.
But why
You're
are
being
you
mostly
giving
deep.
it? Why are you giving it when if it's not defined on both sides? Why are you giving in that capacity? If someone is just a friend, they're in the friend zone. That's where they go. You don't kiss on your friends. You don't sleep with your friends. You don't do these types of things with your friends. You don't buy houses with your friends. You don't go doing the landscaping on their house as friends. That's not how that goes, because then it's skewed. So right now we're talking about defining relationships. You got to define what a relationship and a friendship looks like. But an emotional affair is, and why it's called an emotional affair is because one person has someone else at home, and this is a new friend. If there's gray lines between you and another person, that's your bad. I'm sorry. Yep. Because you have to look at it. It's like if I'm let's say I'm a single woman and I'm cooking for a gentleman, he's getting benefits of a husband. Hold on here. Let's
right. I don't know about your cooking skills anyway.
Oh, anyway, but it's like one of my okay, let me put it like this. One of my coworkers, me and him were good friends at work, right? He was married, I'm married. He asked me to bake him a pie. I said, ask your wife. He's like, huh? He could not understand that. He was like, what you mean? I said, you're a whole married man. Ask your wife. Can I bake you a pie? I brought a pie to the whole, job and everything. So he tasted the pie before, but he wanted an exclusive pie. Bake me one. I said, hold on. Ask your wife. If she says it's okay, I'll bake you the pie. He was so confused he couldn't believe it.
I agree with you on that one.
But it's respect. I have respect for his wife. I'm not about to just bake you food and disrespect my spouse and disrespect your wife. We don't do that because it's already out there. Way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Ain't that?
That's to be a big man.
You know what? But I guess what I'm just trying to say is it has to be respect. My thing is this: if there's emotional affairs going on, the reason why it's called a quote unquote affair is because there's something not quite savory about that. And once you're in that position, it could lead to physical cheating and things of that nature, and destroying homes in the interim.
Why do you guys and why do people try to, and this is what bakes my noodle, why do people try to minimize the way somebody else feel or they should feel when they benefit from the person that feeling a certain thing? You know what I mean? What gets me is, I don't understand how you can fall in love with me. Well, I'm spending the time with a great person. I'm spending intimate time. I'm talking to you day in and day out. I'm helping you with your bills. I'm encouraging you when you're down. How in the world you're going to tell me that I can do all this and not fall in love with you, or it's just so neat? Like, people put things neat so that they don't feel guilty about or take responsibility for the way they made somebody else feel.
But you did that for a young lady, and she fell in love with you, but you didn't feel the same way as she did. So how can you fault her for falling for you?
Okay, I don't. But at the same time, I'm not gonna go ugly about it, or I wouldn't do nothing dirty about it. And oh man, people keep thinking they can't find it.
But it's misconstrued at this point.
No, I just think, and I'm gonna go deeper into why I say it with the stuff. Is that too many people, they downplay other people's feelings. And the reason why they downplay other people's feelings, because they don't want to feel guilty or feel like something, that they didn't do something. And my thing is that yeah, I take a part in that. When I talk about emotional affairs, I no longer deal with this person at all because of some things.
Right.
Dirty things. I don't deal with her.
Right.
But my thing is that had I known how she felt earlier, or Vada called it, then I would have went a different way. When I say emotional fast, the other person know how the other person feel. Like
an emotional affair.
And then they keep going with it. See, when I found out how she felt about me, I stopped it.
You cut it, right.
But some people don't, because it's like, watch this. Relationship that is mostly intimate and close but doesn't involve physical contact is something called an affair of the heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, what? Huh? Who you are, the abundance, what's in the abundance of your heart comes out.
It flows out. But here's the thing. Am I responsible for what somebody else feels about me? What other people feel about me is none of my business. That means if somebody loves me, if somebody hates me, if somebody is over there judging me, how that person feels about me literally is none of my business. Really.
Okay. But here's the thing about that.
I can't be responsible for that.
You can't be responsible for that, but if you keep benefiting from that, then it makes you responsible for that.
Benefiting how that?
Okay. Some people don't want to lose people or lose the benefit of that person or what they do for them, but they know how a person feels and it torments them. Because I know people right now who love a person and they're doing for this person because they hope one day that this person will fall in love with them or something should happen. But they're not doing it for the right reasons. Like if you know a person love you, but you're constantly calling them when you need them or constantly having them help you or bless you, even though you know how they feel and it's hurt them, you are responsible for that. Because one thing about when I found out that somebody loved me that I didn't love, I stopped.
Right.
Because I'm not going to benefit from you or let you benefit from me and you're expecting something else. Because what happens when I move on? What happens when I move forward? What happens when I find somebody else? It's going to be a hard thing because there are some extraordinary people that you just can't get over. Some easy. Just can't get over. Come on, talk to me.
Okay. So years ago, oh my God. Years ago, and I'm talking about years ago. And I mean, I knew this gentleman had a crush on me. Knew it. I just knew it, right? I mean, from children up, I knew he had a crush on me. So when he turned 18, he asked me to go out on a date. I was 16, he was 18. And I'm like, dude, no. No. But I went on this date, right? So he took me to Red Lobster. We had a good time. It was his birthday. He wanted to hang out, whatever. But at the end of the date, he wanted a kiss. But I didn't feel that way for him. So I was like, dude, no. Let's cut that. And I know that hurt his feelings, and I felt bad. I'm like, I shouldn't have went out on the date because there was now an expectation placed because I said yes to the date. We're friends to this day. He and I are really, really, really close friends. He's been married, had kids, whatever. But, we during that little piece or whatever of time, he still held a torch for me. But I always said no. So I got, I got pregnant with my son, my eldest son. And, his father ran off, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But the point is that I'm in my apartment, literally 8.5 months pregnant. And, he was the one that came to my rescue. And he said to me, let me help raise your son. Sweetest guy in the world. So sweet, loving guy. And I told him right then, I said, I cannot allow you to do that because you are fully in love with me. And I do not feel that way for you. And I would only use you. And that would not be a good thing. I loved him as a friend. Absolutely. I love him as a person. But romantically, I was not there with him as he was with me. And I knew that would be an unequally yoked situation. And I decided against that, for the betterment of both of us. It's like, I can't sit up here and use somebody knowing that I'm not on that same plane. It would have been a beautiful thing if I was in love with him as he was in love with me, because then it would have meshed well. But at that time, that was not the case.
When we think about emotional affairs, emotional cheating, there is often an element of secrecy and deception in an emotional affair.
That's true.
because a lot of people know that this is not right, you know, and sometimes it's hard to not feel for you feel for somebody. It's hard not to, but you feel what you feel.
Right.
But when we think about emotional affairs, because like I said, I've been on both things where I've loved somebody that I couldn't have, and it hurt, you know, so I had to create boundaries, you know, not only just so that I won't feel that way, but to get over the feelings that I have. But I also know what it is to be that way. But I also know how, you know, people in today's society, and this is one of the things I want to talk about, is they have mastered the art of getting from you what they want from you without taking you.
In an emotional affair?
Emotional affair and everything. Because why would you need an emotional affair versus a physical affair?
But I think if it's an emotional affair, quote unquote affair, I think both parties are benefiting in some fashion. Both parties are actively in it. Okay, so we all remember the Tyler Perry movie, Why Did I Get Married? And then Why Did I Get Married Too? In the second one, his wife was having an emotional affair with another lawyer. I don't know if you remember that part.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, Phil. And he was like, who is Phil? And she was like, oh, did I mean this? I meant to say Phil the Tub or whatever. She tried to play it off or whatever the case was. But Tyler Perry's character felt that his wife was, you know, emotionally tied to somebody else. She started dressing differently. She started doing things differently. And he knew that. But the point is the lady said, I never slept with him. She never physically was in an affair with him. So a lot of people excuse that to say, oh, it wasn't physical. You know, we didn't sleep together. We didn't quote unquote commit adultery. But yeah, you're emotionally attached to somebody. You are exerting energy to someone else. You are having intimate and deep conversations with someone else. That is teetering on something that's not savory. It's not right.
It's different from the person that's single, that's after you, opposed to you having somebody, because they with you because they love you. You with them because you have an emotional affair with them, because you want to feel a certain way that you're not being felt. Because a lot of emotional affairs come from people who have been depleted by the people they love, and they make it feel good. One of the guys, I know a guy, and I don't condone what he do, but he's a serial cheater at work. He didn't been with a lot of ladies.
I'm done.
And he said his approach is very simple. Find what they missing and give them more of that.
Is he married, or is he in a relationship?
He's married.
Oh, okay.
They married.
Okay.
But he does it in a way that I find what they need, and then I give them more of that. Because let's be real. If you're in a relationship with a person who's verbally disrespectful,
okay,
you're in a relationship with somebody who's physically abusive, you're in a relationship with somebody who's monetarily abusive, you're in a place where you are stuck in a situation that a lot of people are stuck in situations of financial hardship where they can't leave. They got to make it work. There are a lot of people that in relationships that being married to this person is a job that I got to do. I ain't got no choice to do it until I ain't got to do it. They have already mentally, spiritually, they have just left.
Right.
So when they meet somebody who's kind, they meet somebody who loves them, who shows them gratitude, who does for them, who makes them feel, they get involved. And it's like, I'm sucking this up and I'm indulging in this, but at the same time, I'm not seeing what it does to the other person, even though now we can easily turn it back and say, okay, the other person got to know what he got into. You know, they know, you know, because the person that I wanted, I know this person was somebody else. But nothing I can do about that. Even though I felt in my heart that this person would be better with me. Nothing I can do about that. So that person that I felt was not responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for my feelings, but I had to create boundaries that was helpful and healthy for me. Because if I continue on going in the way we were going, then it would have turned to something else, because this is what an expert said, a doctor said.
Mm-hmm.
He said that if emotional affairs are not stopped soon enough, the emotional affairs participants become enemies.
Oh, that could happen.
They always become enemy, because what happens? They start taking everything personal.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk because, oh, this might be this is the way person feel this way. Well, she feel this way. So when we look at that, it's the element of secrecy and deception, because I don't want you to catch feelings, but I want everything from you. This is what society, this is going to be another show where society has good. God showed me something that blew me away. He said, most people that you done gave away stuff, they never took anything from you. 4.5 years, you on a phone with a lady who never thought about sitting down, even having dinner with you. The people you introduce her to, she go see them, but she won't sit down with you. You know why? Because she can call you up and go in your brain, and you can fight with her and go, but she got her emotional fulfillment. She gone. There are a lot of people, you know what? I got to treat you good. Think about this, people. And I want people out there listening. I'm like, oh, Gigi, but think about this. If
I'm about to say something. Go ahead.
If everybody can get what they want from you, why they gotta treat you better? Why they gotta do better? Because they get what they want from you. And that is something that I learned the hard way. Whereas I can't say this person used me, because I was hoping that one day to be in a relationship with them, but they took what they needed from me and left me and ended up going with somebody else. And then even though they got hurt, and even though I wanted to console them and feel bad for them, and deep in my mind, I'm like, you passed over, because so many people pass over what they need or what they want just to realize they lose both.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
So clearly we've got to define a few different types of emotional affairs, because different scenarios causes for different, solutions and different variables, if you will. Because if you're talking about an emotional affair between a husband and a wife, then you have an emotional affair between a wife and a single man. Then you have an emotional affair between, you know what I mean? It's like two single people can have an emotional affair and not, have it. So it's just like you got to kind of jump into those
emotional
different
cheating is a type of emotional affair that involves developing a close emotional connection over time as you continue to build emotional bond.
Mm-hmm.
When you care about somebody,
Mm-hmm.
even if this person is not they're off limits, even though you have never felt this person, because the worst thing to do is, according to many specialists, is to be intimate with somebody you had an emotional affair with. That is the worst thing you can do, because it is not a physical act. It is an emotional act acted out in the physical.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you loving your little check mark.
3 times. One more time.
Oh boy.
So
yeah, you putting yourself in a trick bag there, because the whole thing is, from my understanding, an emotional affair is something that you're getting into that is taboo. Am I right or wrong?
Well, it is, but at the same time, emotional affair connect with your interferes with your ability to connect with your partner, because you do not connect with somebody emotionally if everything that you want emotionally is in your own house.
What? If it's in your own house? See, that's what I said. You don't believe that a full, healthy marriage, you can still have an emotional attachment to somebody else. You don't believe that to be true.
You know why I don't believe that? I believe that it's not true if there is a place to grow. When I was doing the study and working, doing the study, one of the things that was found out in every emotional affair, that they feel one entity, and that was the ability not to grow. And every ability, at every beginning of emotional affairs and cheating, there was an ability or lack of being able to grow where they are.
Okay.
That is always see. Sometimes we marry or get involved with people at their peak, even though we're still in our rise.
Okay.
So I can't grow with this person. There are one of the, and this is, and you could, I know you're gonna have a lot on this one. This next point I'm about to make.
We're gonna see what's happening.
A lot of emotional cheating
comes from people who do not have somebody that embrace their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
According to statistics, watch this,
Mm-hmm.
that there are things that people want to do in life, called to do in life, and destined to do in life, that they are with people who are satisfied in who they are and don't want to see them grow to any higher. So what they do is find somebody that has the ability to bring out of them what they always wanted to bring out of them. That is one of the greatest avenues of emotional fast. You want to be a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And you run into somebody who believes in you,
Mm-hmm.
who believes in your vision, believes in your ability.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a good job, your husband got a good job, you guys are living, y'all ain't living like the Jeffersons, but y'all living like y'all living like y'all ain't living like Florida Evans, the Jay Evans, but she's still living good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you want to be, and somebody say, well, that's a great idea, Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Let me invest in that. Let me push you to that. Hey, here goes some, present. That is a great door for emotional affair because somebody realizes your dreams and realizes your ability. Because most emotional affairs happen for people who overlook the greatness in people.
But what about friendships? So do you believe that a full married woman can have a male friend, and it be platonic?
Yeah. Which gives my next question. I want you to answer. What is the difference? What is the difference between an emotional cheating and platonic intimacy? Woo!
I'm just saying. I believe that. I know on the movie When Harry Met Sally, he said men and women can't be friends. Men and women can't be friends. It always comes back to the physical in the end, and a lot of people hold that philosophy. Men and women cannot be friends. So I personally believe that men and women can be friends, but I also believe that there has to be boundaries regardless of those friendships, because there has to be room for respect for the spouse, period. Because I look like if we friends, we all friends.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Now, are there levels to your friendship? Would you have a platonic intimacy with a close friend of yours?
Define platonic intimacy. You use the term, so it has to be a definition.
And, okay, what is the definition of, you look it up. What's the definition of platonic?
You use the
platonic intimacy. I know what it is, but I want you, because platonic intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It
says a type of love that's deep and intense, but without the sexual and romantic components that are typically associated with romantic relationships can involve. Yes. So that means that you love that person, and I have friends that I love.
But what I mean by you love them in a manner that is a little bit beyond the friendship type of love.
No, but it says without sexual or romantic components.
Right. You don't have, but see, that is the thing. People have equated an affair always to the physical. They've equated that I gotta sleep with you to have an affair with you, and that is not true. Even our Bible says that if I thought it in my mind, I've already done it.
Right.
There are levels of affairs that we have with people that there are just some people that are nice, and there are some flirtatious, platonic, intimate moments. I've had a lot. I had a bunch of emotional affairs, and I haven't cheated emotional time. Now, and listen, I know somebody might be out there.
Did you have to ask God for forgiveness?
No, because I'm just being honest. Because unfortunately, and a lot of people gonna really look at this when I say this, there are a lot of women who are emotionally cheating on their husbands with their pastors.
Okay.
because they revere the pastor greater than they
we got to turn the light on.
Then they revere their husband. When your first ministry, according to the word of God, is your family, is your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pastor did this. Well, I'm gonna talk to pastor about it. Well, why we can't talk?
Mm-hmm.
You know, pastor. You know, but because listen to me. I know some pastors right now that got relationship blood on their hands because they end up talking to the woman, but didn't talk to the man. That they didn't talk together.
Together, right.
You know, I know some people, but hey, I've had it done to me. I had one of my ex send me texts from a leader of what they said about me. Same leader, smiled well, we good, but they said about me, wanted to show me this is what they think about you. And people will always take that side against you when they want to get something against you, who you are. But there are a lot of ladies who do that. There are a lot of pastors who allow ladies to speak to them and not to their wife. That's an emotional fact.
Yeah, well,
pastor, what you want to eat special?
Well, the wife needs to say something with that. Hold on.
You cooking him black-eyed peas, the pig feet, but you cooking your husband stewed ham.
I am. Oh my God. Okay. We get that together real quick. But a platonic relationship.
Come on.
That platonic meaning there is no, physical whatever. Okay. Again, if you're a married person, there should be boundaries set with any opposite sex friends. That's what I believe. Even if you've had those friends for a number of years, because there's already that friendship established, right? If that friendship is established before you get married, then what? This person been my best friend all my life. Now what?
Okay. My opinion, that person stops being your best friend, because anything that makes the marriage works harder, or anything makes your spouse feel, this is me. This is Corey Wright.
Okay.
I don't believe men and women. I don't believe you can have men and women friends after you get married. I just believe that because again, there is anything that makes my wife jealous, I got to remove it. Even it's Facebook. If you look at my Facebook, I have majority women. I have a lot of female followers. I have a lot. So if my spouse came to me and said this makes her uncomfortable, we have to stop it.
Okay, so you're gonna give up your 30,000 female friends
on
Facebook?
She come first. After God, she comes first.
All right, now you better handle that.
And see, this is what too many people want to live single lives married.
Say that again.
They want to live single lives married. You know that this person is your friend.
So when you get married, your wife's male friends, you would feel uncomfortable with that?
Probably would, depending on the type of friendship, because I would not feel not comfortable if we're all friends together, that we all talk together. Because if I am a pastor and I have a wife that's my co-pastor, and a female parishioner wants to speak to me, you need to speak to my wife first. If she can't handle it, then come here with both of us, opposed to just me. And when you look at that, so I look at it as that, and to be honest, I've had female friends, but I've never kicked it with them. Anybody I kick it with, it's because deep down in my subconscious, I want a relationship with them. Okay. I and a lot of people don't want to admit that. A lot of people don't want to admit that. A lot of people don't want to admit that somebody amazing. I mean, I had to come clean about some feelings that, to a person. Hey, I had this feelings, they graciously accepted it, and I thank God for that. Right. But but again, I had those feelings, and it's like, this person is amazing. You can't, you can't not feel that way sometimes.
Right. So with that said, how do people navigate in the world being friends with and those blurred lines are kind of out there? If
Well,
there's blurred lines, because first of all, okay, if you're single and that happened to you, where somebody totally fell in love with you, I'm assuming that other person was single too. That was an emotional affair that was one-sided for her. How do you dispel that situation so feelings won't get hurt?
well, I feel like we have to be honest. You know,
I believe you were honest with her.
I'm telling you my intentions from the beginning. If you'd have told me your intentions from the beginning, the problem is we have a probability of assumption.
Mhm.
That's what hurts everybody with assumption. You're not going to be honest. You know, the person that I had inappropriate feelings for, I told them how I felt.
Mhm.
They knew how I felt. How they received it, you know, is them, but they basically the boundaries was there, you know, but you know, there was you know, I look at it like, okay, we discussed that in the beginning. A lot of times people fly on hope and they feel like you're going to see my worth if I'm there for you when you need somebody to be there for you. And that's not the truth. It's just that, you know, unfortunately, I would rather starve than break somebody's heart and take some meal from them. You know, that's just me because I know the ramifications of that. And a lot of times people don't look at the feelings. So when they look at that, they look at platonic intimacy. There was this thing where you could be just too nice. You can be, you know, there are people who are so great in their talking that they flirt. Oh, baby, let me tell you how you do this. And they all up on you and oh, you know, but let's spend some, you know, let's go, you know, let's spend some time. That's platonic intimacy.
Right.
Especially you talking to a person every day, all day.
Right.
That's platonic intimacy.
Right.
You know,
so if a person feels themselves in that space, you have someone that is flirting with you, you start developing feelings for that person and they don't know. You believe that other person is responsible?
no, I don't believe they're responsible, but I believe they're responsible after they know it. There's a Dr. Childs. I don't know. She's a emotional cheating specialist and behavior science expert. And she said emotional cheating goes beyond friendship. When you find somebody that you have emotional and heart chemistry with, that's the point that catches people. And it's not a bad thing. There are people who just have a heart connections. They have emotional chemistry, whereas you feel good around them. You feel good with them.
Right.
You hug them and be like, good googly woo. And it's not about physical. It's just that you hug them and you feel like boom.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's like, you know, you can't get around. And then here it is for those people who say, well, a man and God, a woman, God shouldn't have those feelings. Well, then if you take that notion, then what you said, you had a better heart than David, you're stronger than Samson, and you're smarter than King Solomon, because all three of them fell through sexual immorality.
Right.
So when we say that you cannot, you're so holy where you cannot make mistakes, miss me with that, because you can. So she says that there is a physical attraction that opens up the senses of that person physically because of the emotional chemistry and connection and that emotional bond in that heart. The thing is, when it comes to emotional affairs or emotional cheating, it is not that this person wanted to let this person in their heart. It's just that they couldn't stop it because you know why? They recognize what they have and what they have opened up.
Right.
There's trauma bond, but there's also love bond. There is a bond. And she says what happens is that this goes beyond the emotional cheating territory, because if someone becomes physically romantic involved, then life for both changes immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
That means that it ain't no, okay, we're going to keep this quiet. We're going to go back. somebody gonna get hurt, somebody get divorced.
Oh, everybody gonna get hurt.
You know, this is like, listen, fatal attraction. This is where fatal attraction stuff come from.
It's like that Carl Thomas song. I wish I never met her at all. Even though I love her so, she got love for me.
Come on,
right.
Gigi.
Wait, what he said? He said she was unhappily married with children, but I wish I never met her.
I know how you feel.
Oh my God.
I've had a few people
He said, what about me?
that I wish I would have never met. Because it's like, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, I wish I would have never met him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he was mad. That was a song that we was all like, what?
Because it's like, because sometimes you can fall in love with a person in a bad situation, and you can fall in love with somebody who just, you know, that good people and is going through a rough time, and sometimes you have a big heart where you just can't help but caring. You can't help but love it. Is it in the comments?
No, I'm just looking at it.
Tell me what the lyrics say.
All right, he said, it was love at first sight. I know the way from she looked at me. Her eyes said it all. Long days and nights we spent until she dropped the bomb on me that she was unhappily married with children.
Hey, this for Gigi.
That is funny. It hurts so bad for sure because she wants to be with me, but she can't be with me. Oh my gosh, she chose to stay at home.
And listen,
You'd be at the doorbell.
I know how you do. There are some ladies that I'm like, how did this man get this incredible woman? I've watched some men treat an incredible woman horribly.
At home, so they could be a family.
You know what?
For
I
the
ain't messing with you.
children.
No.
I remember that song. That is so funny. Oh
I
my
am
God.
not messing with
Well,
you.
I'm just saying it's a lot of that going on. But they took it there. It was love at first sight. They knew that they had that connection that you were just talking about, what the doctor said, and they took it physically. And he was jacked up because she chose to stay with her husband, and that happens a whole lot. People step over those boundaries and do things that they shouldn't.
Well, let's talk about some reasons why married people have emotional affairs.
Oh, they're not validated at home.
One of them is there are different stages of emotional affair. An innocent relationship from two people can begin with innocent friendship, and the two people share personal information. Let's just start right there.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Personal information.
Right. What's that?
Wait a minute. So we got a lot of emotional affairs out here. We share so much personal information on this show.
Especially on Facebook.
People gonna be like, I know you. Oh my God.
You know what?
We share so much personal
You know
information
what?
on this show. That's for sure.
But it's the truth because
Right.
here, I'm hurt. So you're my friend, and I love you as a friend, but I'm telling you how I am being mistreated in my relationship. That right there is the door opening for emotional affairs. Because here it is. I am talking to everybody else but the person I should be talking about who's hurting me.
Right.
So now I, being a person who love you, care about you, I'm thinking, oh, they about to be in.
Right.
You know, let me get in and, let me, and that opens the door because we share too much
personal
information.
Right.
Another one is decreased intimacy.
Right.
A person sharing more details with someone else about their partner may be crossing the emotional affair. If you are sharing with me that your partner is not fulfilling you physically, don't want you, don't love you, and I'm looking at you like good googly goo, I'm,
right.
I'm thinking like, this is how people not saying me. Listen, don't not
right.
I'm saying this is what people think. it opens the door, because there is nothing like somebody in a platonic intimacy way, in an emotional affair way, even in the sincerest, humblest, innocent way, making somebody feel wanted.
That's right.
Compliment you.
Right. Most of the time, that's it too. Missing out on those little simple small things. Go ahead.
Okay, another one is emotional investment. In order for me to love you, in order for me to even to work with people, even to do ministry with people, even though to start a business with people, you have to have an emotional investment. You know, not, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta believe in you, but I got to care about you enough. Whereas I invest in you emotionally. Because one of the ways to surely lose the person you with is to mishandle their vulnerability. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're vulnerable, and you kick me when I'm down, you ain't never kick me again.
That's right.
That is my pet peeve. You kick when I'm down. So what do you think about that? Emotional investment. Do you emotionally invest in people?
I do. I mean, because sincerity comes from the heart. So you can't just be, a brick wall when you're speaking to a friend, be it male or female, however that works. I think when people have emotional affairs, they look forward to speaking to that person because they have that sense of understanding that maybe the spouse does not. You get what I mean? They're interested in their feelings and in their vulnerabilities, like you just said. They want to know what's going on with you and are sincere about that, as opposed to, or just like your friend said, find out where the problem is and fill it in. But 9 times out of 10, it's just being heard. People just want to be heard. And if they're not heard in their home and they have a friend at work or a friend wherever externally, that's what they want to do. They want to be heard.
Now, what if you get a return on your emotional investment?
But I think that's what an emotional affair is.
You getting a return?
Everybody is. I think people stay in an emotional affair because there is an exchange.
Well, you know what? Because that's the part that I'm gonna tell you why I asked you, because too many people, they want to generalize instead of classify. What I mean by that, when you ask a direct question, well, we both no. You let's talk about your part of the benefit. You got an investment from that person back of love that you don't have. Now, this person is trying to get you. So if this person doesn't get you, this person don't have an investment return back on the investment invested in you. You have a return because you're getting what you want, opposed to that person get. Because sometimes we generalize to neutralize our responsibility in something that should not be. What I mean by that is, this person heart, it gets broken because he can't be with you.
Okay.
But then you say, well, we both got the exchange. No. I'm giving you an emotional investment because I want to be with you because I love you. You're giving an emotional investment because you don't have this at home and you don't have this, period. So you're taking from me what suits you, but you're still leaving me empty-handed.
But how can somebody, the person on that other end in that particular scenario, you're saying that the gentleman is giving his heart. He's giving his heart freely to the woman. She can't give her heart freely if she's married.
Right. But that's the same thing. But she indulged in the things that her marriage don't give her.
What is she indulging in?
She indulging in mental capacity, emotional, uplifting. She's getting from this person everything her husband is not doing. Same thing with a woman. You got a woman that you can't talk to, but then you got a friend over here that understands you. You're talking to that person and you're getting everything from that person, but you know how that person loves you. That person is the one that's without. You know, the reason why I said,
but is she responsible for how he feels?
No, it's not. But at the same time, that gives her self-righteousness to a point, whereas I only did this. Like, okay, somebody happened. Because one of the things, if you ever look at the justice system, when something hard happens, everybody looking for a plea deal. Everybody's looking to minimize their place or their part in something that went bad, that somebody got hurt or went terribly wrong. I want to minimize. So I'm going to testify against this person so that I can say this is all I did in it, and I don't have to do as much time as this person, even though we were both in it all the way together. You know, when I look at this, one of the reasons why I cut off everything and made sure I didn't bother this person and deal with them, because I knew how they felt. So if I took something from them, I take from them what I need, and I leave them without nothing. Because you know why? Because they'll never get me. Because that's their whole goal, is to get me. So I know that their goal is to get me. They'll never get me. So I'm not going to take from them, giving them the hope that I'll get them. But most married people, I'm going to be with them, get what I get from them, to soothe me and leave them high and dry.
Okay.
That's deep.
I guess so. If I'm the president of Idris Abba's fan club, and I write, and I'm there, and I go to all of his movies and premieres or whatever, I'm loving him. He acknowledges I'm the president of his fan club. He appreciates all the hard work that I'm doing, but he'll never give me that love in return. That's not his responsibility.
Well, no, that's reaching. That's reaching, because
that's a hypothetical.
That's reaching. I'm gonna tell you why that's reaching.
Like, what?
Because if you know how somebody feels about you, getting something out of them is simple. It is not as hard as it is with somebody who don't. Like, when somebody loves you and they're hoping for a greater position with you, it is easier for them to get things out of you than it is if they were just friends, because there are certain things that you'll do for somebody you're in love with and you want to be with that you wouldn't do for normal friends. You know, there are what I'm saying in a roundabout way is that too many people take relationship benefits and call it friendship.
Okay.
Too many people have people fulfill the deficits of what they don't have in relationships, and they call it friendship or platonic intimacy.
Okay.
And then so what happens is, when the other person feels empty, when the other person feels left out, when the other person feels like, wow, the first thing they go into a self-righteous mode and say, well, they knew I was this, and they knew I felt this way, and I'm not responsible for they feel, even though I'm taking all the things that a relationship would have me take from them. I'm just not taking them or anything about it. Because one thing about me, if I don't care about you, I will not take your resources. If I care about you, I will not use you for my benefit and leave you high and dry. That's just something I won't do, but many people do it. And
so in that scenario, do you think that friendship should dissipate? Should that friendship, in order to minimize confusion, should those?
It depends. It depends on the reason why the two people have to be together. It could be something they're doing ministry work together. They're working together, because if you work with somebody you love and you can't get out because you got to work and they got to work, so that's different. But there's boundaries connected, whereas contact is only needed contact. It's no more, okay, I don't want to go what goes on in your house. I don't want to know you in a matter. I'm not going to sit down and have dinner with you. I'm not going to go out with you in any kind of way. I'm not going to do anything that's going to break my heart. And then I'm going to, while those boundaries are set, I'm going to heal from the way I feel. Not meaning that those feelings are bad because you're a bad person. They're bad because you're not available for that. You're not responsible for that. But I will not benefit from you knowing you feel for me, and I won't reciprocate those feelings. I won't do that. Because if I do that, then that makes me selfish. That makes me look like I'm just using you because I can. Because listen, here is something. The next one I want to bring up, and this is the reason why I say that.
Sure.
Emotional disconnection. The person may feel emotionally disconnected from their partner and lose physical attraction to them, And what happens is that they don't feel that they are attractive. And so somebody that makes them feel attractive because of that emotional disconnection makes them start an emotional fast. Here it is.
Mhm.
When somebody's emotionally disconnected,
Mhm.
they are drained of their emotional feelings in a relationship. The worst thing a person can feel in any relationship with their partner, married partner, is
Mhm.
that they're not desirable anymore, that you're not making me feel like a lady. You're not making me feel like the man in the house. You're
Okay.
not showing me that. That is the worst feeling you can, because once somebody does that and make that person feel like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, that opens up all kinds of emotional affairs. What you think?
Well, I agree with that. Everybody wants to be wanted, especially in a marriage. When you're married to somebody, I don't care if you married a year, 5 years, or even 55 years. You want your spouse to desire you just like they did when you first started to date. And when that starts to have a demise, yeah, somebody can creep in from work. Girl, you smell good this morning. Or you want some coffee or whatever, yeah, those types of things. You become more aware. I'm just saying, you become more aware of certain things that you don't walk past that man
Did she say you
1,700 times.
smell like coffee?
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying, no, I said, do you want a cup of coffee? Point is that woman might have walked past that man 1,500 times. She ain't never noticed him. But the fact that home ain't right, and he says, wow, you smell good, now she's got his attention and he has hers.
Do women want to be wanted?
Absolutely.
How important that is into a marriage, that a woman feels like she's wanted by the man she's with?
Oh, that's 100% important. I mean, it's off the charts. You want to be desired by your spouse. You want to be desired by your boyfriend. You want to be desired by the person that you're with. I mean, I can get 500 compliments all day and say, oh, you look nice, you look pretty, whatever. But if I go home and my husband doesn't say it, them 100 compliments in the street didn't mean a thing.
You all right?
Thank you. Whatever.
I disagree and agree at the same time.
I don't know what that sound was. It actually hurt my ears. But you get what I'm saying? It's like if your girlfriend, wife, whatever, she doesn't compliment you, but all the women in the street say, hey, Denzel Washington, you say you Denzel. You say you Denzel. That's what you said last week. So they say, what's going on, Denzel? What's going on, Idris, or whatever?
I look better than Denzel.
Okay. So the point is you getting all these compliments in the street, but then when you get home and your spouse say, take out the garbage, who to thunk it?
Well, that could be like that with ladies, because ladies look different with makeup on than off. When they take their makeup off, their hair off, it's like, okay.
I look exactly the same, just in black and white.
Yeah, you do, but I think people put their whole entire face on.
I'm done.
Like
there was a man, an African man, who got married to a woman. He wanted to divorce the next morning because he said he thought a burglar was in his house. The woman that took all her makeup.
You know what?
He didn't recognize her. He called 911. He said, hold on here. It's a stranger in my house.
All the African people, I hit the button for you.
No, it was literally in the news. Okay, this man called 911 on his wife. Anyway.
Now, I'm going to talk about it.
He said it's a burglar.
You know what?
I'm so tickled.
We got watchers in Africa. They're like,
they read the story.
They probably gonna be like,
we know.
We don't look a little her.
Oh, you know what? Lead him. I'm gonna say. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
These are 3 reasons why.
Oh my God.
The main 3 reasons why that married people create emotional affairs.
Okay.
The main 3. The first one is trust issues. The person may break their trust, don't keep secrets from them, or form a suspicious close friendship. Once somebody feels that their partner is cheating, it's open game.
What you mean?
What I mean by is, according to Dr. Childs,
Okay, come on, Doc.
that when people feel that their spouse could be cheating, they got trust issues, they break their trust, they keep secrets, they find out stuff about them that they didn't know until after they got married. You know, like that kid that they didn't know they had another kid. They forgot to tell you about that
They
kid.
forgot to tell you.
You know,
Oops.
oops, I got a 10-year-old son I forgot to tell you about. But since we're talking about it, here go my two.
I gotta go pick him up from school.
Once that
Oh, my
trust
Lord.
is broke, it is a radar for emotional affairs.
No, but that right there, that's grounds for divorce. Hold on. We gonna get this annulled. All of a sudden you got a 10-year-old. We've been dating for how long? We got married, a whole wedding, and you gonna tell me you got a child after? But no, that's
Because there was an open, and then eventually people just start, okay.
that right there. I don't know. That's a whole nother show for another time. You got a whole 10-year-old later? That's not gonna work. That's beyond non-trusting. You are a full-on liar. You're a full-on liar. What?
Oh my.
Oh my God. That goes beyond cheating. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The second one is irritability. Once somebody makes a person living horrible every day, that person is open. That is a radar to emotional affairs, open up stuff, because the place that should be their peace, the place should be their sanctuary, the place that should be the first church for them, first ministry for them, is become irritable.
Yeah. So basically, these are signs that somebody might be cheating, because that right there, that's probably physical or emotional cheating. Irritability, like no matter what you say or what you do, that person is, you getting on that person's last nerve. Yeah. Good morning. What's so good about it? Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's
I was with somebody that I'm no longer married to.
Oh Lord.
That I had to sit outside on the step before I went in the house. I had already fought the world, already fought the job, and I knew that my gloves would not come off in the house. I had to go in and fight.
Oh wow.
And every single day. For the Bible said you would rather live on the edge of a rooftop in a house with a wife full of strife.
I understand.
You know,
You
so
sit on the roof in the corner.
That is one. If you make your spouse's life a living hell every single day, that person going to find happiness somewhere else. That person is a radar for emotional affairs, because they're going to indulge in a peace. They're going to indulge in something nice.
Absolutely.
It's like eating sardines every day. You take them to a fancy restaurant. What they get one cracker? This must be saltine. They're good. What
I'm dying. Yes, that's true.
And the last one that is, she considers the greatest way that married people get into emotional affairs is when distance is created. When a person become distant, when a person will not talk to you, when a person will not be around you, when you have not sat down and ate dinner together in a long time, she feels that is the greatest way, because the thing is that we all want closeness. And when you're married to somebody that wants to create a wedge or a deliberate distance, that is the greatest, according to Dr. Childs, the greatest form of creating emotional affairs. What you think about that?
I absolutely agree. I mean, nobody wants to be alone in a relationship. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm gonna get married to be alone. How does that even work? That's a, what is it, an oxymoron, really, what that is. That's crazy to be married alone. That's not how that should be. If your spouse is constantly distant, entertaining others and not you sitting at home by yourself, that's a red flag. An absolute red flag.
And so that makes people, when they find somebody that wants to include them in something, that makes them have an emotional affair, because there is a relief to have somebody laugh. I make people, I go to work every day and signify, make people laugh every day. But then I realized, like one person told me, I thought about committing suicide. You came in every day, laugh. You know, if you ever look at my Facebook, I got 27 posts before 6 o'clock.
Right.
Because I want to inspire somebody. So, because a lot of people, they feel so lonely.
So emotional, I wonder if an emotional affair could be in a group setting like that. You know, so you are the person that somebody looks forward to seeing every single day at work. However, there is no romantic connotation. They're just happy to see you because you're that jovial person. Could it be something like that as well? It doesn't necessarily have to be romanticized, if you will, something that you lost out on as far as a romantic partner. It could just be literally somebody that is at work or in a gathering that you go to, even church. Just somebody you look forward to seeing because they uplift your spirits. That is also an emotional affair, but it doesn't, it's one-sided. Absolutely.
What if then you can't put yourself in a place that's non-platonic. What I mean by that is there is some things you just can't do that will open up. One of the things that I would never have dinner at somebody's house that I'm attracted to. You know, because I would be afraid of what could happen.
Oh, absolutely. I think people should tread very lightly when it comes to those particular things. If you feel like, hold on, I feel this type of way about somebody, I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. So I'm going to either hold it in, leave it alone, or avoid it altogether. You're like, hey, I'm not even going to jump on that landmine.
Because according to study, there are cheaters. We know that there are cheaters.
Right.
But 71% of affairs, physical affairs, that started, that not just by cheaters. I'm talking people that wasn't intentional in having an affair.
Okay.
They have an affair through trauma.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That trauma opened up intimacy for people who have no release or have nowhere to base their trauma. So
right.
There are a lot of people who emotionally have affairs, and it just boils into the physical.
It tips over. Right. Well, we said that in the top of the show. It's just like, hey, I don't think anybody is just out there saying, hey, I think I'm going to have an affair today. I think it's a build up. It's people.
Ooh, this time went fast.
Yeah, it did. People are at that tipping point and say, hey, we going to go ahead and take it all the way there. Go half on a baby.
Now let's deal with this question. You know what you just been too much. I don't know what this thing. Listen, y'all watching around the world. I don't know what's going on with Gigi today.
I say nothing.
That is what. One of the things we want to talk about is the damage of emotional affairs and ending an emotional affair. You know, to save a marriage or to avoid divorce or ending an emotional affair to not hurt somebody or become enemies with somebody. And it involves a decision outside the relationship focused on repair the marital connection. Let me just first state that, because if you have an emotional affair and you're married, then in order for you to stop that emotional affair, the first thing you have to understand is you have to be firm on the decision to cut off that outside relationship because you want to save the connection. Now, the first thing about that connection saving is transparency, that you must be honest with your spouse about details of that emotional affair. Because a lot of times people because people feel like they only have the right or the duty to tell people about physical affairs. They don't feel like that I should tell a person about an emotional affair. Because why would I tell this person that somebody can stimulate me mentally? Somebody can hold my anointed. somebody can emotionally make me feel good, shift my spirit to a greater place, the things that I want you to do, but you can't do or you don't do.
Mm-hmm. And you, how well you think that conversation gonna go?
Well, if you want to save it, you want to save your marriage, because again, people have this notion that I only cheat physical. That is far from the truth.
Well, here's the thing too, and we only got a few more minutes. A woman in general, everything that she does is emotionally tied.
That's deep. Go a little bit deeper.
She's emotionally tied. So if she's at, let's just say, a co-worker, Mr. Johnson at work is they now all of a sudden have a friendship. She's opening up to him. She's emotionally involved. If she chooses now to take that physically, she's taking it physically because she's emotionally involved. That's emotional for her to sleep with that man. Not just let me just have a couple minutes of physical pleasure. It's not that. That's a reflection of her emotional feelings towards this man, period.
And think about that. How do you think it makes a woman feel if she loves her husband, but also loves somebody else?
Oh, that's definitely not a good triangle to be in. But also too, the feelings for her husband, the whole thing is that she loves him, but it's unrequited love. She can't get it from him. So she's falling for Mr. Johnson. The love for her husband is probably fleeting and depleting all at the same time. It's like a nice little cookie mix. It's depleting at the same time. It's like she won't be able to hold on to both. That's not how it is. After that husband is losing his wife, basically. If she's having an emotional affair and it jumped into the physical, that husband is losing his wife because she's not going to be emotionally tangled with two men. That's not going to happen.
Okay, now explain, how do a woman deal with that? I mean, because you got to think about it. Do she bury the feelings she had for that other guy and try to reunite, or do she take what this other man is doing and try to incorporate it with her man?
9 times out of 10, if a woman is already in that space, she's already has started to let go of that marriage. It'll be easy to walk away from that man. She wake up in the morning and be like, he'll wake up and say, well, hello, because all the furniture's gone. she done packed her duffel bag. He's looking for her because she's gone. That's one of those. A woman will stay in a marriage and be hurt and hurt some more, and all that time he's screaming and hollering at her or telling her she ain't all that, and she's taking it in, she's absorbing that energy and falling completely out of love with that man, even though they're laying right next to each other in that same bed. Trust and believe what I'm telling you. And then he gonna wake up one morning and he gonna be looking for her.
So you saying that people emotionally fall out of love with somebody while they with them?
Absolutely. That is a whole show for another time. We should have really delved into that because that can absolutely happen.
Wow.
Wake up one morning and just be gone. Or she leave all the stuff there. I don't even need none of this furniture. I don't even want the forks in the drawer. You can have that because that means nothing to her once she's emotionally depleted. I wish we had people to chime in on that because that's the truth. I'm trying to tell you.
That
we got 1 more minute, so I guess we gotta.
No, we here until
12:30. Oh, let's get into that. Hold on.
We into 2:30. Go ahead.
Oh, we got a whole lot of time. Listen, I don't know why I'm thinking we wrapping up. I'm thinking show. Anyway, listen. A woman can love you to death and not speak to you ever again. Period. You have to understand that when a woman's, I love R. Kelly, even though he in jail and he did some wrong things, but when a woman's fed up, I'm trying to tell you,
okay,
she will be like, listen, I cannot take any more. I have hit my threshold. I am to here. There is nowhere else to go. I'm so sorry, sir. Sorry to this man. It's that simple. I'm not about to do that no more because a woman is a nurturer. She's handles the house. She makes sure she makes a home for this man. And then he comes home Don't compliment her, give her no time, build her up. None of that. A man should love his wife like he loves his own body. That's what the word says. Is that right? He should love his wife like Christ loved the church. He should be able to. The whole world been on his back all day, but when he comes home, he should come to his peace. He should come and have a safe place to land, and so should she. They should be able to comfort each other at the end of the day. That's what should happen. The world gives us enough trouble. So when a woman and a man come together, that's what should happen at home. But when you still got the residue of the world on you when you come into the house, and it's disruption and spirits and whatever out in this world, and that's starting to shake up stuff in the house.
Wow.
A woman can be like, listen, sir, because then when she start using the term sir, excuse me, sir, we gonna have to get this together, sir. You know what I mean? Anytime you can say, how was your day? It was all right, and you get in all of this reverb and feedback that's not right. No, it should be peaceful. Babe, I had a rough day, but I'm so glad to see you. What we eating tonight? It should be conversation. But when there's a brick wall between two people, that's not a good look. And if a woman gets enough of that, when she tries to put her nurturing spirit on him and puts her love all over him and tries to be gentle with him, but she's always met with a hammer and all of this hard stuff and these harsh words and hard feelings or this pushback, after a while, she just gonna keep putting them books on the shelf.
Let me ask this question, and I always wanted to know this. Can a woman be fully out of love with a man that she's with him and be fully in love with another man that she's not, all at the same time? Like, I fully love this other man, but I don't fully love the man I'm with.
I'm sure it could happen under the right circumstances, but I don't think that she would stay in that long. Unless, a lot of times, like you had said on the top of the show, sometimes people are in a situation because they cannot financially move away from them, so they're stuck in essence, like, I'm stuck in this situation. I can't move because, financially I'm strapped. I don't have my own car or don't have access to this and that. But a woman will find a way. She will. When she's done, oh, believe me, there is a secret savings account somewhere. Okay. If she putting $5 a week. Oh, wait. I'm just trying to tell you. You saw the movie. I always go back to movies. Liz Claiborne. That woman was ready to go. That's what Kathy Bates played that movie, baby. She said, listen, her husband was abusive and all of that. And he was abusing their daughter. She went and had $7 a week or whatever. She put that money away and that man stole her money. Oh my God. She was ready to kill him.
Let me ask you a question. Can spouses push other spouses to emotional cheating?
People say that. I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say this in this fashion. That's like I'm gonna say the devil made me do it. That's miss me with all of that. If somebody cheats, they have made a solid decision on their own to cheat. To sit here and say somebody made me do this, or I went out and did this because my husband ain't that, or my wife ain't this, or whatever. No, miss me with all of that. You are a grown person. If you over 21, you grown and you making grown people decisions. If you went out and had an affair on your spouse, girlfriend, or whoever, boyfriend, whoever, that was an adult decision that you made on your own to be decisive and unsavory. That's what you did. Now, you did it for whatever reason, but ain't nobody made you do nothing.
I agree. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with that, because a lot of times people settle. A lot of times people don't go and get somebody that has everything they want. They don't. And what I mean by everything, they have the ability for that person to grow. A lot of times people settle for what they can get opposed to what they need or what's truly for them. And so I believe that. And I believe when you settle for less, you set yourself up for failures and things like this to happen.
But sometimes it is not necessarily settling. Sometimes we don't know ourselves yet. sometimes we're not as
Okay, that's
confident.
interesting.
Yeah, we're not as confident in ourselves to know our own worth. So we don't even understand the type of person or partner we should be after. You know what I'm saying? Or the type of person for a woman anyway. I don't think women should chase any man any day at any time, because when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. So that don't mean women should be out looking for no man. It should be the exact opposite. But when he comes knocking, we should be able to say, okay,
But Ruth did put herself under Boaz, and with a warm spirit and hard work.
Hold on? What you mean she put herself
Well,
under?
she was able to be seen by Boaz.
Yeah, she was able to be seen. Yes,
because he can't find you if you had.
That's true, but she wasn't looking for him. She was picking up the leftover sheaves off the ground. She was working. She was doing her part. She was working to make sure her and her mother-in-law had something at home. Don't get me started on the word. But anyway, but truth be told, yeah, you have to be seen. You can't be in the house. Go to the library, go to church, go to savory places where hopefully savory men are, so you can be seen. But on the flip side of that coin, nobody can make you do anything. And you shouldn't be out here looking for anything. It's the whole thing is if you're working on yourself, being a Proverbs 31 woman as a lady, the man will come to you. You will find your Boaz. He will come. But cheating, you and then another thing too, you're never going to get the right thing cheating. I don't think good relationships come from cheating. People, to me, you sitting up here cheating with this person, talking about, I found the best man in the world. I'm already married, but I found this best man in the world. So I'm going to cheat on my husband to get with him and think that God is going to bless your mess. I don't believe that.
No,
I think things have to be done decent and in order. You know what I'm saying? Close that chapter. If your husband is not the one, if he is treating you like and wiping his feet all over you and making you feel low, then you have to make the right decision as a woman to say, listen, I'm done with this. I know the Lord don't like divorce, but God didn't put this together. So we're going to have to dismantle this so that I can be put in the right place for the right man to come into my life. That's what you have to do.
And you know what? Another thing is that you have to be with somebody that's building, not somebody that's built.
Right.
Because see, a lot of times you have places where you can't grow. Like somebody said to me, what if you meet somebody that's doing all this? They're far advanced than you. I'm like, that's good, because now I got something to inspire or ascend to, opposed to somebody that's already on the ceiling and I can't go no further than their ability allows me to go.
Right.
Because a lot of times we pick people that we want them already made. We want them to look like what they look like. And a lot of times we're still being cultivated and we're still growing as people. And then we're looking at people like, they like, you change. Yeah. But you got me at this point. This is where I am. This is what I do. And this is the point you got me at. So,
well, I think when whatever partner comes into your life, even if they're already built, everybody should have room to evolve. If you're with a closed-minded person that can't move forward at all and doesn't have an open mind at all, yeah, that ain't the person for you. Because you can get with somebody that's 61 and, you know what I'm saying, 71 years old. If you choose to, you think that they're already set in their ways. No.
I met a couple of bad
a wise man or a wise woman is still going to learn. You don't know it all, even in those particular ages.
Now, let's finish this. Why do emotional affairs hurt so much? Why are they hurt when they end? Why are people hurt by so much emotional affairs? Well, according to my favorite doctor on the subject,
right.
Feelings were deep. Emotional affairs involve significant emotional investment that can rival or exceed intimacy of a physical relationship, making betrayal feel more personal and profound. I'm gonna read that again.
I believe it.
Emotional affairs involve a significant amount of emotional investments that can rival, even exceed the intimacy of physical relationships, making a betrayal feel more personal and profound. There is nothing like giving a piece of yourself, your emotional, your mental, to somebody, and they go back to a place that you cannot have them. One of the things that I feel when it comes to these emotional affairs and why they hurt so much is that, one,
of the people involved does not take full consideration of all the feelings. And that is something that I believe, that's just my point. You may agree, you may not agree, but we don't understand how a person hurts. Most times, one of the biggest things as a leader, I tell people, don't tell people how to mourn, because you don't know how they're mourning what they lost. You don't know what that person meant to them. If they want to mourn for the next 30 days and they want to feel, let them mourn the way they mourn, because you don't know how it is. A lot of times people measure somebody else's hurt according to the point that doesn't make them feel guilty. They measure their feelings like, you know what? I can always find refuge in a point whereas you know what it was, and I never told you to fall in love, or I never had this feeling, or you know what, you'll get over it. You know what was going on. Like, it always takes them to a point, whereas they don't look at the emotional significance or the emotional investment, because some platonic intimate moments can exceed the intimacy of a physical relationship.
Right.
There is something when you can stimulate somebody's mind and make them feel good, shift their spirit, and bring them on the natural high where you never touch their body. Most people come to church every Sunday to have an encounter with the pastor and not an encounter with God. Oh, pastor preach. Boy, did he preach that word? I was jumping and I was running. But what about Jesus? What about the master? Did you touch the hem of his garment? Did you get healed? Did you get made whole? But a lot of times when we look at these emotional affairs, we don't really look how it affects the other person. Because you know why we don't? Because we have to say to ourselves, you know what? I'm a bad guy in this. I'm actually a bad guy. I actually didn't realize how much a person, look, I've been on that corner where I wish I would have caught something earlier, that I didn't realize how much a person loved me. And then once it got revealed, it was like, wow, because I don't want to minimize somebody's feelings.
Right.
And so a lot of times that other person minimized their feelings. Well, I'm married. Well, I feel this way. You know what it was. Well, okay, we still spent these moments. We still did these things. We still, and it can become dangerous. And sometimes that person feel like they've been betrayed, or and it's personal and profound. That's why emotional fast can be dangerous. And that's why after it's been exposed and you have talked to it by the person, you have to set boundaries, even if the relationship becomes strained, even if you don't have the friendship that you used to have. You have to have boundaries to a point, whereas now you're not being hurt no more, and this person don't have to feel guilty no more. And it is a platonic relationship for the purpose of a greater good or a greater work, but there are boundaries set now, like certain things you don't do, or you may not go out no more, or you may not spend time no more. You may not have them long conversations no more. And it's not that you're mad at the person or they're a bad person or anything. You set healthy boundaries so that not only you can heal, but you can put yourself in a place to get what God has for you. Because God showed me clear as day. I was preaching a sermon and God was talking to me, basically saying to me, listen, the reason why you don't have what you're supposed to have, because you are chasing what I didn't give you and what you're not supposed to have. Even though, because forbidden fruit always tastes tastier, look better than the fruit you can have.
Absolutely.
That's
what I was about to say. It's like in an emotional affair, whether it be one-sided or two people that are engaged in it, because it's not complete, whereas emotional intimacy and physical intimacy combined, you're making it bigger in your head. Your imagination runs wild because there's so many different directions it can go. So you're building it up in your head like, oh, this is great to me because you by yourself, saying, oh, we in Paris today in my mind, or that's the one child I saw. She said, in her mind.
Heather,
In her
yeah,
mind. We'll always be together, or whatever the case may be. But it's like when you put it in your head and you blow it up bigger than what it is, you are making that person whatever you choose to in your mind, because they're not physically there with you to dispel your imagination or whatever. You spend a few moments with that person, say, oh my God, they're so nice, they're so great, they're so this. And then when you're at home alone, or at home with a spouse that is treating you like crap, you are blowing it up better in your head, like this person is the best thing since sliced apples. And you don't know. You really don't, because you're blowing it up in your head as to what you want it to be, and not maybe what it actually is. Because people that go into those emotional affairs and then they loving each other, they take it physically, and then it's like womp womp. It's not even all that. And then now they done blew up everything and destroyed their marriages and destroyed friendships, and certain people destroy the church and destroying this. You're destroying everything based off of something that's literally built up bigger in your mind.
I'm not talking to me personally. I'm not
you. I'm just saying.
I'm saying I'm not talking about people who have a love for you that you don't know about. When I talk about emotional affairs, this person know how I feel about this other person. They know it, but they still continue in the manner that we're continuing in when you know how this person feels. That to me is what I'm talking about. That is wrong, because if I fall in love with somebody and they didn't want me to fall in love, they don't know about it, that's different. But we all know our boundaries on what we take from somebody.
So if you fall in love with a person that is I don't know, let's just say married or in a relationship with somebody or whatever, and you tell them that, and they say okay, but they can't act upon it, then
I mean, I understand that, but then we don't do things that incorporate an emotional affair. Because see, here's the thing. It's easy to get to a point of self-righteousness. It's easy. See, a lot of people want to do something, entertain a temptation. That's why God made it specifically your thoughts, that the beam in your eye, you thought it in your mind, you have done it.
Right.
Because many people, they find solace in the fact that I did not sleep with this person, even though I took all the benefits of a relationship from this person. That's where people don't get it, because if I'm spending all my time with you, I'm constantly talking to you, I'm helping you, I'm showing you love, I'm being close to you, and then you turn around and say, you know what, we're just friends, and we never been intimate, so also how you feel that way. That's a person, to me, that is either naive or selfish, because you know how a person feel, and you take it. Because let's be honest, you don't fall in love or have an emotional affair with somebody that doesn't benefit you. You don't. If you emotionally have an affair with somebody and you get platonically intimate, that person is benefiting you in a reason. And they're benefiting you.
What you mean benefiting you?
What I mean by, okay, you can't talk to your husband, so you talk to this person.
Okay.
Your husband shows you no time, shows you nothing, but this other person does.
Okay.
This person is giving you what you don't have.
Taking you out to dinner.
I've been in relationships where I could even talk to my mate, but I go talk to somebody else.
Okay.
And when my mate asked me, well, how do you feel about that? Oh, I'm good. I already got solutions. How do you get solutions? I want to go talk to somebody else. Because the worst thing you can do is to be with somebody you can't talk to.
Right.
That is the beginning of the end, when communication is to the point where you can't talk and it becomes blank. I'm going back and forth with you. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did. So solutions become accusations, and then they become excuses till they become a downfall, and a relationship go the same way. That is the thing.
we don't get into emotional fast unless the person benefits us or they replenish or fill a deficit that we have. We don't just, I will not believe that somebody just meets somebody incredible and say, you know what, I want them to be in my life and I feel an emotional affair with them because they're extraordinary. I do believe that they're extraordinary people, but it has to be something that's lacking in them to make them want to have an emotional affair. I don't believe people cheat without deficit. That's just what Corey Wright thinks.
I believe that too. There has to be something missing, or there has to be a catalyst to push you in order to do something like that. Absolutely.
Because I know somebody.
Well, in most cases, because I mean, you still have those exceptions that will.
Because there are
be with anything with a pulse. Like, what is wrong with this person?
There is a lady.
Oh, good Lord.
If God bless me with, I'll be satisfied.
Okay.
I mean, you can't tell me nothing.
I'm done.
You know, I don't give you. You could be a supermodel like Corey. You could nope.
I'm dead.
Nope. Because I told you I got a friend that married his wife on the first day they met. They've been married over 20-something years, 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. He met her. We were at thing. He said, listen, I don't know you, but I love you. You every day. And when you marry me, I thought it was the craziest thing in the world to say. Well, her answer was even more crazy.
She said yes.
She said, I agree. Let's get married today. And they got married. Now,
same day they met.
That's before, because now you have to wait a day. But now, I mean, you afterwards, now you have to wait a day. But then you could. I'm sitting there looking at them like they're crazy. But they got, 5, 6 kids. They got business. They happy. They never had a day. They love each other because they knew. So all us relationship experts who've been through marriages,
been through the storm and the rain,
right? You know, we know
the tsunamis and hurricanes,
right? So, you know, for me, I just think that when you get what you ask for and pray for, and what is everything you want, there is no need to find emotional, because my wife should be my best friend, and friendship and love should be in the same relationship. Sorry, she's my best friend.
We do agree with that. I mean, I know sometimes folks will say, oh, one person shouldn't be your everything because they can't be your everything. But I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know. Again, if my spouse has to go out and if my spouse has to go out and, you know, take somebody else to dinner or take somebody else to the movies or go do other things with somebody else, then why am I here? What's the point of purpose? What, I mean, that don't make sense. I'm actually looking like a fool standing here. So no, I don't agree with
now
that
we
one.
got about 7 minutes. Give me you want me to go by closing statement? You'll go your closing. Go get your closing statements about what you feel about emotional affairs, because it's been a great show.
Okay, well, emotional affairs for me, there's so many different variables of it, but I look for it as far as with two people are married. So when you look and somebody else is married and you know, the two people that come together, there each of them are married is what I'm trying to say, and they have an emotional affair, you know, it's just not a good look. However, it's a balance there because each of them have to go home to somebody else to preoccupy their time. Somebody is having an emotional affair with somebody that's single. It's very hard for that person that's single because all they do is go home and think about that person, whereas the other person has to, you know, be deal with their spouse and whatever they got going on. So it's a little harder, but regardless of how it works, emotional affairs can be extremely dangerous in the sense of if two people, you know, want each other but can't have each other, they gotta have immediate boundaries, because if you cross lines, somebody gonna get hurt. And I think emotional affairs always lead to the physical. I don't care what nobody say. It's going to eventually go to the physical. And once it goes there, it's just going to be a whole train wreck. It's going to be some hurt feelings. It's going to be some demise, some kind of way.
The owner, Franklin Morris, said, great show. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And we got to get it back on, get it on Facebook. But yeah, I appreciate that. Let me give you my thing about emotional affairs is that settling is the platform for emotional affairs. When you look for somebody you need opposed to want or what's available.
Mhm.
So many people get what they want and what's available because sometimes people feel that maybe there is nothing better out there, or maybe this is all I can get. But a lot of times they pick somebody who has great standards. They have great intentions. They have a great personality, but they're not big enough to hold their emotional character. They're not big enough to hold their anointed. So what happens is they settle for somebody who loves them, who may treat them good according to their ability. And then what happens is this person is study growing, elevating, and evolving. And now you with somebody who cannot fulfill you. And most people think because I can fulfill you physically, that I can cover all the other dimensions of who you are. And that is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves.
It's a faux pas.
Yeah, because we're telling ourselves that
Like, no,
we can do these things, but we don't look at a person, because one of the things that I care about is the spiritual connection and a mental place where we both can grow in.
Right.
Physical will take care of itself, and the financial will take care of itself.
Right.
Those are things that can happen. Even if a person's not super physically right off the bat, they can always learn to be, because everything is evolving.
Absolutely.
But you cannot tell a person who's not ordained to handle somebody's anointed that they got to handle it. Nor can you tell somebody who emotionally can't lift people. What I mean by lift people up, not leave them in a bad place.
Right.
Well, after talking to you, after encountering you, they feel better, they feel relieved, they feel at peace, and now in a better plane. So for me, when I think about emotional fast, I'm thinking about people who settle and then they realize that they're shortchanged themselves in their pick because they didn't let God choose the person or show them who they were, and they didn't try people by the Spirit. Now that they got them, they're starting with a deficit. And so what happens is the deficit keeps growing as time with this person keep growing.
Right.
And now they're looking for things to fulfill that. So for me, I think that until we stop settling and we get exactly what God has for us, then we're going to continue to create emotional affairs. But if you have everything that God has for you and you're happy, then that's going to end emotional affairs.
That's right.
People, God, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to talk about appropriate church wear.
Okay.
Should a woman that has super hips shape, should she wear a certain type of dress?
Help them, Lord, please.
Should a man wear tight skinny pants where you see somebody's imprint or you see a woman's body? Or
what?
I'm just saying that because a lot of times, a lot of people, you heard Juanita Biden, you heard a lot of church leaders feel that some of the things that these ladies wear take away from them getting closer to God, because they're looking, because if you have a woman who has a really tight skirt on and shape bending over the altar, you can't help but seeing that. I'm just being honest. We're going to talk about it because there should be a reason why we should have church standards when it comes to dress.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely have church standards.
So that is a show. And listen, reach out to me. We gonna really talk about that. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys. You want to say goodbye to anybody?
God bless you all. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys.
Listening.
And listen, we sorry for the technical issues. We'll be back on Facebook next week and see it on YouTube and get it. And remember, instead of talking about the problems, be the solution. See you guys next week. Peace.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?